And once you figure out these rules, people will usually tell me that they love it once they've understood the rules.
How would you describe a typical person from Norway?
Well, it's very risky to describe a typical person because it can easily become very stereotypical. And as we have already talked about, there are cultural differences in Norway too. And as we all know, we are all individuals. But on the other hand, being stereotypical for a moment can be helpful because it will help us navigate in a complex world. So it's like the first guess about Norwegians. But also how you perceive Norwegians depends on your reference point. So when I say that Norwegians can be very shy and reserved, it depends on how reserved and shy you are as an individual and people in your culture. But I would say that we tend to be a bit shy. So a typical example of that is that Norwegians will not speak to strangers on the bus or in the lift and so on. And it can take time to make Norwegian friends. So people who come to Norway often find the social life harder to deal with than expected. But once you've made a Norwegian friend, friendships are on a long-term basis. So it's a little bit more difficult to make friends. But then we have friends that I have friends that I've had almost all my life. So it's definitely on a long-term basis. But at work, Norwegians can seem a little bit remote, and by that, a bit uninterested in your work. But this is not the fact. This is linked to two things. First of all, it's linked to the trust that I've mentioned already. So they will trust you to do your work and to ask if you have any questions. The second thing is that they're giving you space. So they want you to have space to get on with your work, develop your own methods, add your personal touch without anyone breathing down your neck. And once you figure out these rules, people will usually tell me that they love it once they've understood the rules. But it can be a bit difficult to get started in this kind of environment.